if anything, the person that's going to get the most praise coming out of this movie isn't going to be the leads, but it's mainly going to be Laura Dern. Like, I think she's just got the easiest road to snagging Oscars this Oscar race.
What's up, YouTube? We are Drive-By Movies coming at you with another episode of
Fresh Releases.
And my name is James.
My name's Blaze.
This week we are checking out the Netflix film directed by Noah Baumbach, Marriage Story.
Together.
So by this point, Marriage Story is becoming meme central. We're seeing it all over Twitter.
Really? I haven't seen any of this.
I'm seeing nonstop memes. Like, I mean, most likely it's, already I'm just gonna like flat out say like the title is very misleading, and so is the poster. Yeah, I was expecting Kylo Ren, Black Widow. Well, actually, speaking of that, though, were you able to separate them from their now
So the intro of the movie, I mean, these are two iconic characters. Although I can't really tell you that much about either character. That more than that, they're just anything that's not surface level, I think.
That's another story, though.
Yeah.
But,
but the beginning of the film opens up with a voiceover. They're at couples therapy talking about like what are the things that made them fall in love with each other.
What I love about Nicole, she is a mother who plays, really plays.
What I love about Charlie, he loves being a dad. He loves all the things you're supposed to hate, like waking up at night.
She knows when to push me and when to leave me alone.
He never lets other people keep him from what he wants to do.
Basically, Adam Driver, I couldn't separate it from Kylo Ren. Because there's those voiceovers where he's talking about what happened between him and Luke Skywalker and like how they're not friends anymore in the Star Wars films.
right.
And that I was like, okay, his voice is just it's too Kylo Ren for
Right.
me. And that's not even a character that I like.
Yeah. It's a bummer to hear. I mean, for the most part, I feel like their star power has gone over now to where like I'm just seeing them which is a bummer to say because we've loved Scarlett Johansson movies like Her and Lost in Translation. You and I have always been obsessed with like more indie films and stuff. Not that those are like really low cut indie movies. Most people have seen those, but then same thing with Adam Driver. I loved Frances Ha. Noah Baumbach's been working with Adam Driver for a while. Then actually, that was also when we were young.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean. And also he had his like fame from like Girls, and just sucks when you can't separate it at this point anymore. I mean, I guess like coming off of Frances Ha, I mean, Noah Baumbach's been hit or miss for me at times. A lot of his movies that he makes, I absolutely love. Then the movies that I see, I'm just like, I don't see what the big deal is. Like I kind of felt that with When We Were Young. I wanted to like that movie. Same thing with Mistress America, because coming off of Frances Ha, that's my favorite Noah Baumbach movie.
Have I seen Mistress America? I think I have, and I don't even remember it.
Yeah.
Like that, I think that tells you all that you need to know.
I definitely saw it by
maid
myself.
In it?
What's
is that? What it is? Is Greta Gerwig playing like a maid or like a au pair?
I don't remember. I just remember it's just like she's like a hipster, like everything's going well for her or something.
I think I've seen this movie, and I can now remember that I've seen it. But every time you mention it before, I'm like, I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, I wanted to like it just because Greta Gerwig's so fun to watch and stuff. But just that movie wasn't for me. And is this movie for me? A Marriage Story? I mean, right away, I'd say the performances and the writing are absolutely there. I mean, what most people are going to be talking about is the performances by Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. But I think one thing we need to really like appreciate is the writing that Noah Baumbach gave them, though. His dialogue's always felt, for the most part, pretty realistic. There's at times where I was like, I don't know if I'd ever be able to say that, but I can't relate, though. I've never been married. What about... how about you, being a married man? How was it watching this movie?
I mean, I for me, it's not really. I'm not really watching it from that perspective.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this movie tore me up. Like I watched it every night at like 2 a.m. Like every time I started it, it was like at 2 a.m.
Well, that's
1
actually already a gripe that I have with the movie. It's way too long. 2 hours and 15 minutes. This easily could have been 100 minutes. Like, I mean, it could have been cut down to 90 minutes. That's the sweet spot for a movie for me. But like, I mean, if you need to go 100, I'm not going to freak out if it's good. But 2 hours and 15 minutes, like, come on.
I mean, yeah, I think there's some things to cut out here and there, or that you could. But I think it's fine at 2 hours and 15. I think it would have been better. I think it would have been a tighter movie if it was a lot shorter. But really what I was kind of trying to get at was this movie like tore me up because I kind of saw myself in the child's shoes.
Okay.
That's kind of the perspective in which I watched it. I know like the film is supposed to be the perspective of Adam Driver. You never really feel like you're in Scarlett Johansson's character's mind. Like she's there, you're following her for a lot of the movie, but oftentimes you don't even understand why she really, even though she explains it a million times, you can't really empathize with like why she's really left Adam Driver's character, even though she constantly calls him the selfish one. You as the viewer are like, but you're breaking up the family. You know, like at least I felt, I don't know.
Yeah.
You can say I'm mansplaining, I guess. But
No, I mean, what's it called? At times, like, yeah, I was on either one side. There were times where I was on Scarlett Johansson's side. There was times where I was on Adam Driver's side. But at the most part, like, what I just didn't like is just when they're going behind each other's backs. Like, at first, it seems like it's going to be a reasonable divorce. They obviously still love each other in a friendship way, but it just keeps getting worse and worse. And as I said, this title's misleading. Like, honestly, it's really should be called a divorce story because there isn't really anything about the marriage part we're really seeing. We're just seeing the finalization of the divorce and stuff.
Yeah. So do you think that Noah Baumbach's somebody who really believes in like the sanctity of and sacredness of like marriage?
I mean, honestly, he's been dating Greta Gerwig for like years now. I'd say, yeah. I don't think he's gonna get married again. I mean,
do you think
that's
that his
besides the point? But
do you think that his view of marriage is possibly cynical with this title?
No comment. I mean, yeah, that's not my place to say, but yeah.
It seems somewhat obvious, though.
Right, yeah.
I don't even think
I mean, he definitely is someone I feel like who does write from what he knows, I'd say. I mean, not saying all his movies are based off of like his real life and stuff, but
I know for a fact this one is.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
Just after watching it. I'm not saying actually.
And there were interesting articles I remember when we were young that came out like, oh, is this reminiscent of his story with Joe Swanberg and stuff? And, you know, that's besides the point. But
I don't think it is.
Yeah. But, I mean, overall, though, with Marriage Story, I mean, it's well-directed. I am not too stoked on the cinematography. At times, it felt just very, I mean, I'm sure he was going for that feeling of feeling trapped and stuff. So I felt very claustrophobic watching it. And like it feels very LA apartment-y and stuff, like sweaty and white walls and just hot and broken ACs and stuff. And I mean, as someone who lives in LA, like I guess that's what I found it relatable, and I was just uncomfortable watching those kind of scenes. But yeah. But yeah, I just thought, like, I don't know if it would have benefited being in black and white or something. It's very obviously shot on film, but I don't know. I guess I just liked the look of some of his other films better than this one.
I feel like it's honestly still shot in black and white. Like it's almost like a sepia tone color palette that they use with only like this kind of like off-white and then like a brown. Like it feels almost like that, aside for some scenes that have a splash of color here or there, or lack of color when they go to like New York, it seemed like. So, I mean, I honestly really enjoyed the movie. I don't think I'd ever watch it again. I think the performances are really top-notch. I think... if anything, the person that's going to get the most praise coming out of this movie isn't going to be the leads, but it's mainly going to be Laura Dern. Like, I think she's just got the easiest road to snagging Oscars, this Oscar race.
Yeah, I'd say actually one of the best scenes in the movie is her and Ray Liotta going at it against each other. Those are like, I mean, I've seen Laura Dern like get pretty like crazy in certain movies and stuff, and I know that she's been doing TV for such a long time too and been recognized in that form. But Ray Liotta, I haven't seen him in a while in a movie. And it's just cool to see them clash and stuff into these characters where they're like, you know, like almost like Parasite, like just like trying to do whatever it takes to take over and stuff. And just like, that was a really crazy scene and it was intense watching. And it was like scenes like that are going to make the movie. And we're going to see definitely her scene at the Oscars, I'd say, when her nomination is announced and stuff.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Ray Liotta's character. And I definitely see them like kind of being sung the most. Like I've seen more of the praise being on the leads, but I feel like they're going to be the ones in like a couple months that we're really remembering. I think that the leads did an amazing performance. I think Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson really kill it. I think maybe bringing somebody else to it than Scarlett Johansson could have brought the film maybe elevate it a little bit. I think she's really good, but at the same time, like I feel like this part was almost written for Greta Gerwig in a lot of the movies I've seen her in. I feel like she could have brought in another element.
Yeah, I'm honestly very surprised we didn't see her. I mean, now that she's a director, though, like maybe she just wants to focus on that aspect of her career. But yeah, this is definitely a movie though where I felt like it could have benefited. I feel like she would have brought everything Noah Baumbach wanted, because I could see, you know, of course, like Noah Baumbach as Adam Driver in real life, like coaching his real life girlfriend and stuff. And yeah, like it would have worked out nicely. I would have loved to have seen those pair back together, and their chemistry was amazing. Frances Ha, but seeing their chemistry go this way in this movie, I felt like would have been something special too. But not to take away from what Scarlett Johansson did, but yeah, that's just the fanboy me and the indie circuit would have loved to have seen.
Definitely. And I say, if you're interested about this movie, know you're getting into something that's definitely a more serious subject matter. This isn't, you know, your typical romantic movie. It's not really romantic at all, to be honest. So a title like Marriage Story is definitely going to make you think that it's a romantic movie. It's going to be this love story. It is an anti-love story. And I think that does detract from the quality in which it is, being that the title is misleading, but I think it is like a tour de force when it comes to the writing department, and a lot of the acting in this film is very good.
Absolutely. It's definitely not a Netflix and chill movie. It's more of a Netflix and cry movie. Solo also. Watch it by yourself, I feel like. Or, you know, watch it as a family gathering if that's what you're into. Totally kidding there. But no, it was fantastic. What's it called? It's definitely not going to be my favorite of the year, but it's definitely one of the best performances that we'll see this year, I'd say. And I mean, it's definitely, it's already getting that buzz at the Golden Globes. I'm sure we'll hear about it at the Oscars as well. But yeah, it's worth checking out, I'd say. There's other movies that I'd like to praise throughout the year, but Marriage Story, good start to the like award season movies, I'd say. Yeah.
Definitely check out this movie, guys. It's available now on Netflix. The best way to support the show is by leaving a comment below and liking this video.
And after doing that, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe and also hit that notification bell to get the latest updates from Drive-By Movies.
That's it for fresh releases. Tune in next week for a new video.